Good afternoon. I'm Jamila, and I'm going to tell you guys, I'm a small business owner, but I'm going to tell you guys how to be a vendor at the pop-up markets. So, the most important thing about being a vendor at the pop-up markets is networking, and I feel like networking is like really important. It's very important, actually. So let me explain to you why. I've literally went to other events, have networked with other individuals, and then later on they will send you an email and invite me to other events where I've done great at. I'm all about networking. So let's start. So how you can be a vendor at a pop-up market? It starts like this. I feel like being a vendor at a pop-up market, you have to do research. I mean, some people are going to give you the information, but I feel like if you really want to be popping up and want to, really start selling your products, you have to put in the work. And putting in the work means that you have to research. So for me, that means I'm on social medias and I'm tapping into other people's profiles. I see things. I tap up pop-up markets, or festivals, and then they'll have a bunch of pop-up. Once they pop up in there, once they pop up in the search, then it's time for me to break down to figure out, are these places located in my area? That's important. I live in California, so I often have researched some events, and then I want to go to them, and then I reach and say, oh, where are you guys located at? And they're like, oh, we're in Philadelphia, we're in New York, or things of that nature. So with that being said, that's where I said you have to do the research. So the research consists of, like I said, you're going to Google. For me, I also go on Google and I list in, like I might say, festivals in California. Well, since California is divided in Northern California and Southern California, I have to break it down into Northern California. Once it gets to Northern California and they have more events that'll pop up in there, then for me, I break that down to decide, are these events places where I'm willing to travel to? I traveled to Los Angeles before, which is an 8-hour drive. I went to an event out there. It was a 2-day event, and I had a great time, and I made a great amount of money. So that event was worth me going to. There's some often events that, for me personally, they're not really worth me going to. I have a lot of things to set up, and the setup for an event to pop up at market is a lot. So sometimes if you're traveling a place that's going to take you 10, 11, 13 hours, and then you're going to only be there for 4 hours, it's really not beneficial for you. So with that being said, like I said, once I find a location, once I find events that I'm interested in popping up in, then what do I do then? I reach out to the promoter. I speak to him or her via email, text message, however I can reach out to them. And I ask them, can I participate in your event? The reason we're asking, can we participate in the event? Because their event might be selected for just, I don't know, individuals that they know. It might be like a private event, or better yet, the deadline might have passed by or whatever. So you never know. Or they might have, in my case, sometimes they might have more than one vendor that's selling the same product that I'm selling. So they don't want to have like 9 or 10 different coffee vendors. So that's why sometimes I'm not allowed. So once I do that, then they'll let me know. Once they let me know, because like I said, because I'm a coffee vendor, which means that I'm listed as a food vendor. And being a food vendor, we have to pay more money and extra things. An example with that would be, if I went to an event that cost me $500, I have to pay an additional $200 or $300 for a health permit, and then my commercial kitchen, because I don't have a college license, which allows me to cook at home. And so therefore I don't want to be penalized, so I go cook in a commercial kitchen. The health permit that was within your state or your county, that allows you as a vendor to sell at these events without being penalized. Nobody wants to be penalized. The object of the game is to make money at the event, right? That's it. So let's just say we're going to fast forward now, and we fast forward, and now we're going to definitely participate in the event. So we're participating in the event. Now we have to get our stuff together. For me, I cannot stress a checklist enough. I am so big on checklists. A checklist helps us as vendors. It helps you remember things that you need to get. It also helps you remember things that that you won't forget the date of the event. It just helps a lot. So for me, I have a checklist. Now, If it's an event that's outdoors, I automatically know there's some things that I need to bring. One thing is definitely a pop-up tent. A pop-up tent, some chairs, some tables. If it's at nighttime, you're going to need lights. And sometimes if they don't have any power, you might need a generator. With that being said, my pop-up tent is ABC. ABC is a great tent. I'm telling you, it's sturdy and everything. However, if you're going to be somewhere that's windy, you're still going to need weights. And even ABC's tent can't beat Mother Nature if she or he decides they want to blow up your tent. So remember to be prepared and get weights, sandbags, weights. I've even been to an event where I seen this lady. She had jugs of water that was full. And she, whatever you need to do to tie down your tent, because a tent is an investment, and what you don't want to do is have your investment blow away. That would not be great. So now that you have your tent, you have your weights, you have your chairs and such. Now for me, I'm going to decide what products I want to sell. If it's in the summertime, I like to offer my customers the opportunity to try some different type of teas, but I try to make it like an iced tea or an iced coffee. That way they can taste the iced coffee, they can taste the iced tea, and then they can purchase the tea and make that iced tea themselves. One of my major teas that I make is a strawberry mint tea, and it sells out all the time, as well as the iced caramel coffee. Those are two. And that's not even my number one seller. My number one seller is a whole different one. So now after I've decided what type of products I'm going to sell at the event, now I'm going to work on my inventory. You need to check your inventory to make sure that you have enough products. And what you don't have, it's time to replenish. For me, that often means going to certain stores. I go to some commercial business stores at times to get some products. And I like to do it beforehand. If the event is at the end of the month, don't wait to the end of the month to do it. All type of things happen. So what your best bet is to do it earlier. Now let's see. We've decided what type of products I'm going to sell. We got the inventory. Let's talk about marketing. Marketing is real big. Marketing. You cannot market yourself enough, whether it's on social media, or things of nature. So you need to make sure you have everything that you need to market yourself while you're at the event. That might consist of a banner. Let's see, Vistaprint, Etsy's. Those are all great places for banners. You can even go on Amazon, but you need to have some type of banner so that way you can show, hey, this is my brand. I'm out here. Because let's be honest, everyone goes by what they see, not necessarily what they hear. So they need to see your banner. They need to see your company. It looks really professional. They also have table runners as well. Table runners are also excellent as well. They're good for indoor events and outdoor events. I can't stress those. No. As well as retractable banners. Now, if you don't want the banner that you're going to hang across your tent, they also have the retractable banners, and those are the ones that just they're retractable. They go up and down. Those are great as well. So I like these. All of these are great. That's not that. Now, being that it's a product and you're displaying things, display racks are often a good choice. They show your product high up at customers' eye level so they can look. So when they're walking by your event, walking by your booth, they can see your products. So they kind of jump out. And bright colors are good. So for me, I deal with coffee. I'm a coffee and tea business. And my colors are mainly brown, but I try to incorporate yellow in there as well. And of course, black. So my tablecloths are black, and I try to incorporate some colors. So I'm not saying you have to. I'm just saying it's a good choice to try to incorporate different colors. That way they're eye-catching. Things of that nature. Now, with your marketing, you also need to make sure that you have all the supplies you need to promote yourself. So, and that means the social media. You can't go on social media enough times. TikTok, YouTube, I don't know, all of the social media platforms is where we're going to say. Every social media platform, I feel like it's what you need to be on, honestly. Now, for me, one of my things, and it's just for me personally, is that when my customers buy my products, I like to give them a business card. But if I don't have business cards, I mainly try to really give them what's called a thank you card. So my thank you cards are right here. See my little thank you cards? So my thank you card says, And this, it says your order has made us very happy, and this coffee will do the same for you. Please enjoy with a smile. Because I'm Tasty Smile Coffee, so therefore, no. Another important thing to have is, let's talk about your payment methods. It's always great to have change. So many times I can speak for myself that I went to these events and I did not have enough change. I started my business before COVID, so back then a lot of people didn't have money. They weren't using money like that. They was using a lot of credit cards, which brought me into the Squares and Venmo and Cash App and Zelle status. That let me know that I needed to have all of those payment options open as well. But now that we're rolling back, it's still, people are starting to use more cash as well. So, but it's still good to make sure you have your Venmo, your Square, your Zelle, and your Cash App, as well as Google Pay and Apple Pay are great as well. Now, I can't stress enough, like I said, about change. Go to the bank and get you $100, maybe $200 worth of change, because everybody doesn't want to use their card. Everyone doesn't want to tap. Sometimes people just want to use your good old fashioned money, and you don't want to miss out on a sale because you don't have money. Let's be honest about that. Nobody wants to miss out on a sale. Bags are important. Really, I get it. Everyone's about the environment, but bags are important. As a customer myself, when I buy something from somebody, I want to have a bag, unless I tell them I don't need a bag. But I want to at least have the option, hey, do you want a bag? And they're like, yes or no. Some people have their own bags, so they don't want any extra bags. But as business owners and business sellers, we should offer bags. As a customer, I know I want bags. Right? Sometimes I don't want to carry things. I want to put it in a bag. So make sure you give them the option to have the bag. Inside of the bag, let's, be prepared. Sometimes for me, I already have my bags already set up, and they're set up with my thank you card. And my business cards. So my business card and my thank you cards are automatically in the bag as well. And sometimes I put a little sticker in there too for little kids. Sometimes I have kids, Now, when you're at these events, I often see people doing things and I feel like it's just totally wrong. It's good to be on your phone if you're recording, but let's be honest. You really shouldn't be on your phone. You should engage with the customers as they walk by. When they walk by, you say, hello, how you doing? And things of that nature. It looks like you really want to make a sale, than opposed to just sitting there and on your phone the whole time. Who wants to walk up to somebody that's on their phone? Are you paying attention? Do you even know what's going on? Are you engaged? There's nothing worse than being a customer and walking into a store or walking up to a booth at these events and no one knows you're even there. They're not paying attention because they're on their phone. That right there is a turnoff. And as a customer myself, it makes you want to just go the opposite way. Therefore, that means what happens? You're losing a sale. Who wants to lose a sale? Nobody. What's some other important things I would say about when you're vending? Pen and paper as well. A friend of mine, what she does, she often, and this is a good thing, and what she does is that she has Post-its, and when they buy stuff and they don't want to carry it, she'll staple the Post-it to their product and then write their name, and she'll hold it for them until they come back. But they have to pay first. And I think that is a great thing, because sometimes people don't want to hold things. They want to walk around these events. They don't want to hold. They want the item, but they don't want to hold them. So, hey, you can pay for it there and you can come back and pick it up. And 9 times out of 10, if they already paid for it, they're definitely going to come back and pick it up. Definitely. So what else? Let's see. We talked about bags. Did we talk about our wagon? Wagons are important. I'm not sure if we talked about it, but let's talk wagons. So when I first started at these events, I literally did not have a wagon. So I was carrying things from my car all the way to the event. Sometimes you have to park a block or 2 blocks away, and then you have to set up. So the best thing to do, I like to say, is people, you should invest in some type of wagon. My first wagon I got was from Lowe's. However, I've decided to go on Amazon and look for some more wagons because I've walked around with other people. I've seen other people and they go, oh, ask them where they get their wagons from. They say Amazon. So I recently just bought a wagon from Amazon. It is huge. It is sturdy. I had less trips that I had to make back and forth from the car, from my setup to go, when it was time for me to set up and time for me to go home. It is great. And I'll let you guys know the name of that wagon in the comments because I'm not really sure what's the name of that wagon at the moment. Like I said, I know my 10 is ABC, but I'm not sure the name of the wagon. And then we talked about display risers as well. Like I said, they show their products, so definitely display risers. Right, because our tablecloths. As a vendors, we all have tablecloths. And the best tablecloths I truly to get are the stretch ones. They come in 6 feet, 4 feet, 8 foot. They have so many different colors. You just go on Amazon. They sell them in packs of 2. They are great. Literally, they stretch. Not to mention, they conceal all of our boxes underneath our table. Because as vendors, we often have a bunch of boxes and other items that we brought with us to set up. And they're still there at the table. So we can tuck them away, and that way the customers won't get to see what the customers won't see what it is, and that way our booth still stays nice and neat and looks more professional that way. So you got definitely those stretch tablecloths are great. Let me see what else. I'm trying to think everything that you might need. So we talked about promoting. We talked about how you got to reach out to the promoter. As I said before, I'm a food vendor, so my fee is more. I'm going to give you an example. My fee for an event was $500. I paid an additional $150 for my food permit, and then I paid an additional $80 to cook in my commercial kitchen. So you do the math. You do the math. But as I said, I made it back, so it was all right. But as a food vendor, I pay more. So it's good to find out these things when you're talking to these promoters at these events, when you first speaking to them and you want to participate. And find out certain questions before you decide you want to participate. A big thing that I've noticed is that, us as vendors, all events aren't meant for your product sometimes. So you got to go with what your niche is. Sometimes, you might sell food and you might do great at the food place. If you're doing clothes, clothes is kind of, but you need to, just do your research before you decide that you want to, participate in these events and pay the money. Because 9 times out of 10, those fees are non-refundable. And who has money to throw away, especially in this economy? Nobody, right? So you got to do your research. Like I said, I can't say doing research and checking up and checklists. I can't stress those enough. I really can't. So after you've got all of that done, after you got all of your tent and you set up, everything is set up, now you are ready to sell. And that is the best part. So in the selling tips, I always tell people is to engage with their customers, and a friend of mine, she does it. Have fun. I can say that, I genuinely like these pop-up markets. It might be a lot of work to set it up, but I genuinely like it. I like to meet people. And plus I make great contacts and networks as well. What a great opportunity to meet people, to network, like I said, to learn about more events and perhaps even get your products in wider ranges of places, whatever you're selling. Like I said, if you're going to be if you're going to be a vendor at one of these events, you got to put in the work. But remember, you should also have fun. Have fun. You're out there to make money, is true. But if you're not doing something that you really want to do, then why even do it? Like, you started a business because you liked it. You enjoyed it. It was something that you had a passion for and you wanted to take it further. That's why you started that business. So while you're out there promoting your business, have fun, smile, and make money. Bye. Talk to you guys later.